afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and riveting, amazing Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda, Hero Select Defender of the Fatherland, off here to 2 vs 2 on Crossing in the Woods. In the south, we got Unclearone 1 and First Preacher Man, fighting here for America, Freedom, Democracy. The 3rd Armored Division backed up here by apparently lots of airborne troops. Versus the north, we got Rance, Super King, and Butcher fighting for the German army, Deutschland. Rolling out here with the 21st Panzer Division. We got a Pathfinder starting for First Preacher Man and 7 years for Unclearone 1. This is sort of more what I talked about the previous episode about how some players go for airborne and then they go hard on the Pathfinders. This is very much that. I mean, we got here Preacher with double Pathfinders. We got Unclearone 1 with at least 1 Pathfinder as well. So they're leading, looking for some paths really hard. Rance here with Grenadiers, MG42, Butcher with full Sturm Pioneers. Note they got defensive, blitzkrieg, assault support, Overwatch, scavenge, and elite armoured. Pioneers moving out the west side. Here we get MG42 Grenadiers moving out as well. Pathfinders all, of course, found a path here towards the victory point, screening off and meet path here as well for the fuel point. Nice work there by Preacher. In the east, we got Unclearone 1's Kuban, Pathfinders about to engage the Kuba-wagen. Need to come under fire here as the Kuban moves up quickly. Some heavy skirmishing already. 1 Pathfinder bites the dust in the face of growing German resistance. In the west, Rance is slowly moving out, and we see here that the Preacher is repositioning, trying to either flank or do something else, maybe try and back up his teammate. 3rd Pathfinder out here for Preacher, and we got a 2nd Pathfinder out for Unclearone 1. That is some heavy Pathfinder plays. And there you go, looks like he's going to try and flank up, backing up his teammate, basically conceding for the most part, I think, the western ground, as he then moves up to hit Butcher in the rear, stabbing in the back. Rance here going for more MG42s. Unfortunately, caught by the Pathfinder, got to push here for the carve point. Double Pathfinders versus 1 Fulton. This squad's going to be a bit aggressive. There you go. Casualty will be quickly piling up, of course, as more damage is done. It's going to have to retreat fast, in fact, because of that. There we go. Casualties are just increasing. So many Pathfinders here, with the 3rd one joining in the fun in the west here. Reactions continue to guard the rear. For now, and there you go, the paths moving up. You can see that Butcher is more or less getting butchered here by the allies and the influx of Pathfinders. We got beacons going down here as well. Helps any paratroopers might pull down, of course, gives us an idea what's going on. Overwatch here for Butcher lives to the spot out, and we got Jaegers out to sort of quickly provide reinforcements here in the east. In the west, Rance is making good progress. They might have to back up. There you go. Preacher continues to sneak in with his Pathfinders, harassing curve point. He's just playing hyper aggressively with these Pathfinders. Not the sort of aggression you're used to seeing here. Back there we got tech for Rance, we got punishment Pathfinders, Football's coming in as well here for Butcher. Pathfinders there are going to have to retreat this time around. They do not have the numbers to withstand the might of the Wehrmacht. Ambulance out for Preacher. Unclearone 1 has yet to commit to anything further there. Might be taking up, in fact. Yes, indeed, Lieutenant. Take up almost done for Rance. As for Butcher, we'll have to see what he ends up with. But the Kuba-wagen, yeah, went down. No chance of survival there. Still being able to successfully turn the fuel point even through to the presence of Unclearone 1's large number of Pathfinders. So many Pathfinders. There you go, Veterans 1 gaining 1 Pathfinder squad. Steel Pioneer slowly being bled out. Trotting away there for Butcher. We'll have to see what he aims for. Fuel cache up as well here for Rance. Might be a plan for some longer term plays against the Allies. Realising they're against a lot of Pathfinders that maybe just focusing on infantry fighting is going to prove to be at some point not very healthy. If they can push out light vehicles and heavy armour down the road, they'll probably stand a better chance. I imagine that's kind of the plan there for Rance to back up in his teammate, in which case I'd not be surprised to see mechanised, but instead we get the bag of headquarters. A flat craft track could be pretty helpful here though, if that's what he ends up with. Preacher there setting out with his triple Pathfinders. They're going to find either a stairway to heaven or a highway to hell. Grenadiers here being pursued by the Pathfinders, but we got forces backing up the Grenadiers. But the Grenadiers are quickly dropping in very rapid. Now it's got a rough grenade off, but that was even then pretty risky against all these Pathfinders. Not all of them, by the way. Veterans he won. Fortunately, they're also routed by the Pathfinder horde. More fuel caches up. I feel like 2 fuel caches this fast is a high risk play there by Rance. High risk, considering he's got little else on the field. He could risk conceding a lot of ground and being overwhelmed bunkers up as well too. My goodness. He's trying to play a stall game. He's trying to go ahead fast for armor, so he'll probably be skipping tier 2 and go straight for tier 3 is what I'd guess here. And again, with all these Pathfinders are out, this might in fact be the exact right decision, but it still feels a bit weird to see. Yes, of course, if that is what he's planning. Got Goliath out here for Butcher. Back here, take down. Will he go for the like to make a nice company? Yes, indeed. So it's not quite a tier 3 rush, but even then, he could get a lot of like vehicles. He might also want to consider some Panzer Grenadiers. Lots of beacons up here for Unclearone as well. He wants to be very much clear as to what his opponents are doing if he can get an idea about that. Big push here to back up his teammate. Seems like the map is more or less split across the centre road here. Preacher there finding his Pathfinders routed once more. M20 on the way there. Flak half track for Butcher. Rance, we'll have to see what he ends up with. Got a 50 caliber up for Unclearone. Of course, denoting that they have both gone for Lieutenant. No captains here for any of them, and no anti-tank guns. Meaning, in theory, they could be a bit vulnerable to some sort of, you know, heavier vehicular or armoured play. But this we can backed up by machine gun here. Still, there's a lot of Pathfinders about. There's a lot of Americans with guns about. Troops are suppressed by the 50 caliber there. Pathfinders move forward, taking advantage of any exposed German troops to just kill them. Further up north here, Rance think about they're causing a rat in the centre. Machine has to fall back. Probably swims alongside the Grenadiers for quick suffering casualties. Rance has got very little troops in the field again. This is ridiculously risky what he's doing. He's relying to an extent on bunkers and whatnot. That is a high risk strategy, since if at any point anything goes really wrong, he's not going to have forces to counter attack or regain any ground. So this is very risky. We got the 2 on the way there, and again they're getting a lot of fuel here to follow the field caches, so that's again nice for them. Two to 2 halfway done. Flak half track should be done here for Butcher as well. There we go. Two to 2 almost done. Grenadiers reinforcing. Are ready to move ahead. 4 dust fast. And there we go. Hits the Telemine. M20 down. Rance's defensive play is so far to an extent actually working out there. Again, it's very risky, but it does seem like he's at least calculated some of the risk factors far enough to not completely be, you know, pillar. Now Preacher Man's calling in a 50 caliber himself. You'd figure he'd just build one, but I'm guessing he feels like he doesn't need the munitions to want to preserve the manpower, which is actually, you know, a viable line of thought there. You'd figure maybe he'd call in anti-tank guns as well at some point, and maybe that's what they're actually planning. You know, if they have to need anti-tank guns, they can just call them in at a discount. Flak up and about there. We got the 50 caliber being routed. Big push here from Butcher in the east as he butchers his way through Unclearone's Pathfinders, cutting them short. Almost got a wipe. The Rance being routed as well here. Being slowly murdered. 2 to 2 dealing with 10 here. Wrapped up. Grenadiers doing some nasty damage too. Dealing with the beacon. Direct hit on the flak half track. Less ground stuff there for Butcher. Got the 2-2 moving up. We've got 50 caliber moving up. Going to force the route here. Taking out almost the 2 to 2 there, but not quite. Grenadiers suppressed 2-2 routing. 50 caliber going to, or machine's going to set up pretty quickly. Do any further attempt to take over yet here? He's at least gone for another Grenadier squad, though partly would recommend Pentagon as well. Right now, the Allies learn a bit in defense here. The Pathfinder Storm has lost a bit of its lust in the face of calculated and well-positioned German machine gun defences. And a flak half tank, obviously. So there we go. Another assault here thwarted by the stout defenders of the 21st Panzer Division. Obviously, he's going to try anything new, and mortars could be a good decision here. In this case, smoke screens could, you know, help them push through the machine guns and overwhelm the crap positions. Butcher there yet to take up, but he's going for a machine gun on top of the flak half track. Pretty good idea there. Got one anti-tank gun up by way here, but in this case, because he went for the captain. There you go, push for the curve point. Big assault team to the east. Leaving Rance hang about, and again, this is also one of the issues with the strategy to the extent it requires they actually attack into him. They just ignore him and just, you know, gang up on Butcher and butcher him. I mean, Rance does risk not being able to actually assist him very much, leaving the match that way a bit more in the allied hands. So again, in some ways a nice strategy if executed correctly, but even then it can be played around there. Go Watts in Butcher, 2-2 moving in, they're getting behind the allied assault here. Nice work there by Rance. Again, he's got limited force to do anything there about that. Rance though is taking up very good. Then use the fuel carriage that way, pull ahead. Unclearone though taking advantage of the confusion caused by his assault, but also Preacher's assault on the centre. The road has allowed him to gain the fuel point, and he's gaining them more fuel, and of course allowed him to pull ahead again. One of them might want to get a fuel carriage up against the others. So again, that way you pull ahead as well. Got the 2-2 flanking up here again, threatening the flank of Preacher as he's forced to collapse, leaving Unclearone now to have to hold here. Beacon wrecked. Back in the allied bases, we got nothing further going on. Germans advancing up through the centre, and needs to get a bit of stand about here. Pathfinders are going to DC out in the open, quickly cutting them down and causing some grief. Rifle grenade launched, causing very light damage to the American infantry. Hold up behind heavy cover. Got the Pathfinders pulling ahead here, close to veteran feet. Academy of hanging about. We got a mortar on the way there for Preacher, very good. Unclearone remains mortar agnostic. And no sign of take up there either. Support McCoy up for Rance, and he's going to be able to pull up for a Panzer IV right about now. So again, ultimately, his strategy is going to be paying off here against the Allies. Those machine gun there got suddenly swarmed and just destroyed the abundance of caliber and all of the Pathfinders. Certainly highlighting there might have been a few weaknesses there as well, and certainly should be leaving the machine guns out that exposed. So there you go, Preacher's Pathfinder Horde rolls up round to southern positions. Flag half track is going to probably have to act as a stopgap here until he can bring up the Panzer. Of course, the loss of the machine gun does mean he's got less support weapons for what little infantry already has. Paratroopers out for Unclearone, very nice. Looks like Preacher at least called an tank him, so he actually used the doctrine in that sense. Panzer IV halfway done. Rance, by the way, here the only player so far without a doctrine. The Sugarfire on it. We got an anti-tank gun out here for Preacher. Another one being called in from above. He's certainly making aggressive use of that. Machine guns being hauled forwards. Pathfinders hanging a bit back here for now. Some of them are, others are in the thick of it against the Krauts. And these things continue attempting to regain the fuel point by Butcher, but it's very much a head-on assault as he tries to cut his way to the fuel point, which does of course have its weaknesses. Anti-tank needs to about to deal with a flak half attack. Pathfinders are ready to ambush staff. Armoured piece going to have to be a helpful addition as well. There you go, quick hit on the flak half track, one more hit. Oh, smoke pop, but an attack round I think in the right spot could finish it off. Ooh, missed shot there. Panzer IV finally arrives to the scene here for Rance, turning the tide in the west, regaining the fuel point and clearing it of Amerikanen. Paratroopers up with the Browning light machine guns. We got the fortress round, we got the eggs exposed, and they end up falling back as well here, so I wasn't able to grab it. He was able to deny something, and a bit of bad news here. Unclearone got a hold of a machine gun as well, so now the Americans have 2 German machine guns in their armor race of freedom and democracy. Panzer getting the 5th kill, they got the Pathfinders being up. He's swarming over the machine gun, setting up again, more or less same position as last time, which could result in it being taken out. Particularly as he shoots at the wrong one. And there you guys might notice the Pathfinders doing incredible damage, particularly the ace one, they just clearing out the machine gun in a matter of seconds. Good God. Bad news, so we got a smoke screen down, 2-2 down. The German defences are seemingly here in the west, crumbling down and utterly apart. A devastating blow here from Preacher. More beacons up. Got another ace Pathfinder squad out here. There is 2 of them now. Machine gun, by the way, there could of course also be ground turn against the nerd to be up use Pathfinders to man it. It has the same line of sight as the Pathfinders. They can actually shoot quite efficiently. We got final doctrine. It is Rance with assault support. He's not just going for cash, he's going for the Opal Blitzers as well. My god. That's going to be some heavy armor play there. Imagine flak half tech doing what they can though, cutting apart the Americans, but there's an anti-tank and awfully close. That does not bode well there for Butcher's flak half track. Butcher there pulling for his own first tank. We got Orbslard now as well, very good light machine on the way for them to help deal with this armies. Pathfinders arrived. You know the Pathfinder squad is nearby though. And the Grenadiers are paying the price for it. It's mostly north here. Bunker stands about, hasn't done too much, but still done some work. Rance is not far off from another Panzer IV. Of course, he could theoretically play for Tier 4 next. But I think that'd be a bit ambitious. Notice Opal Blitz has yet to set up, probably should be doing that. I'm probably doing that soon. Bunker being shot at by the anti-tank. Orbison trying to clear out the anti-tank and crew. There's slow progress. Panzer following up. Panzer IV finding the west. There was another anti-tank and head on. Pretty risky there for Rance. Allies think we're trying to theoretically push out. Of course, got the Shia Panzer Corps recovering the calf point. The Opal Blitz still hasn't set up. Rance. Don't tell me you end up calling it and then ends up doing nothing with it. That'd be a bit of a shame. Anti-tank are now called in by Unclearone. Note that at least Unclearone has gone for a major. I'm less sure about Preacher. He's actually going for it now. So Unclearone can soon begin going for Shermans or for Jacksons. Yep, Rance is in fact pushing straight for Tier 4. He's gone at least for another Grenadier squad. Partly because he's lost all of his machine guns to the Americans. There you go, wipes one of the machine guns, so it's a 50 cal, but still could try and nab that and turn them against the armies. Pioneers advancing forward, got the Reasons charging forward as well. Who will get to the machine gun first? Who will deny it to the other? And there you go, it ends up being Preacher who naps it back. In the centre, lots more beacons, lots more defences. 10 stuff here. Panzer IV neat repairs, flak half tag good to go, close to the legendary 3. Heavy Panzer Corps almost buildable here by Rance in the west. A push there thwarted as once more Preacher's Pathfinder triad advances. Oh, you're gonna wipe that ambulance, actually a bit exposed, and a tank gun. I mean, theoretically, you can try and grab it, but you probably get off just destroying it. There we go, M1 destroyed. Got another airdrop inbound. I'm not entirely sure what got dropped, or was it reconnaissance? It was reconnaissance, actually. Fancy that. All Blitz finally up there for Rance as well. Does give him more munitions and more fuel. Allows him to slightly maybe call in some more support abilities. Heavy Panzer Corps there being rapidly built by the Pioneers. Work harder, Schwing's sandbags faster. I would like to see, does he go for the Sturmpanzer to help deal with all the infantry support weapons, or does he go for a Panther to worry about enemy armor? I mean, the current situation, considering all the stuff the Allies has, the Sturmpanzer makes a lot more sense though. There's also the option of the Panzerwerfer. And there we go, we do see the Panzerwerfer out here for Rance. Well, again, if the Allies do begin hitting with an armor, he might be in a bit of spot of trouble because all these guys are the Panzer IV. So to the extent he is reliant on Preacher and Unclearone never really hitting him with any significant number of tanks. Panzerwerfer, they're halfway done. We got sector sold off here in the east. Butcher summons the might of the Luftwaffe. Do we get any bombing strikes here? Oh, yes indeed. Machine gun overtaking that. Trees being shattered. Sheds collapsed. Dirt shaken. Jackson away there for Preacher. Unclearone for the Scot. Aircraft crashed down here by the victory point, seemingly killing no one. Entertaining the Arctic, got the Jaegers, they need to retreat soon. And the Luftwaffe is actually trying to bomb out the beacon. That's silly. On the west, though, Rance has lost most of the ground team. We got a howitzer power weapon as well here for Butcher, so we get a lot of artillery here. We got the Allied position getting bombarded by the howitzer. 4 kills already. Anti-tank gun shattered, paratroopers obliterated, Pathfinders, well, remanded to their bits. But Rance is going to need some serious support, I think, break out here right now. Preacher's got a hell of a defensive position head on. Assault's going to be very painful. Although Panzer the barrage off against the Pathfinders, and goodness, 2 Pathfinder squads, both ace level, just completely annihilated. Now that's a Panzerwerfer strike. Though it's only a drop in the water compared to what else Preacher has, so he's going to need to get off a lot of excellent barrages. In the east, we got the Jackson vs. the Panzer IV. Flak half-track nearby, closing on the east level, actually. Nice work there by Butcher. Panzer IV being absolutely hammered here by every anti-tank weapon it seems like Preacher can bring to the front line. But gets lucky and bounces some of the shots. How's it good to fire again here for a Butcher. Panzer's got a bit more to go here for Rance. That's for Unclearone and Preacher. They're a bit on the defensive. These seem to have been at least conceded for now. Got a single kill there, though that might have been a B connected to a gap. And otherwise seems to be missing wildly as Unclearone is always moving up. And otherwise, excellent artillery target. I mean, they're all bunched up. I mean, a single artillery strike here could do horrific work. Same here. It's just the howitzer, and it's not exactly even far either, so it having so much scatter is just absolutely horrid luck for Butcher. I mean, if any of those shells had hit, I mean, again, that would have been horrific, but instead, the only horror here is just how wildly it misses. Pathfinder's about to get wiped out. Panzer finding these, got flanked here by the Jackson. Push up the west side with Grenadiers. We got weapons dropped about here. Mortar there. Troops being shot to pieces. Captain, Lieutenant, Pathfinders all unleashing hell. Jackson on the way there for... Seems like, yeah, no one for Preacher. And we got the Raketner that dropped about. Panther 4 barely escapes, and so does the flak half-track. Panther 4 moving about here, seemingly clearing out Preacher's western positions. I suppose that's a small bit of luck for the Germans here in the west. Mortar drop could be grabbed. What is Rance planning for next? Panther, Tiger, Sturmpanzer? It's a bit hard to say. Victory points wise, the Allies are now in the lead over the Germans.
We have 300 points remaining.
Panther 4's going to need some repairs. Howitzer firing again. Hopefully with the better accuracy this time around. First shot hits a bit too far. There we go. 2 members of the lieutenant's unit gone, including the lieutenant, obliterated. 10 kills there. Slow movement up here. We got the mortar ground by Butcher, not by Rance. And we got a fragmentation bombing run. Note, by the way, the angle he calls in from is the excellent one. Oh! Got the anti-tank gun, the ambulance, and the machine gun. A powerful blow. It's almost got lieutenant as well. That was one hell of a fragmentation bomb. Yak pans out for Butcher to deal with the Allied tank destroyers. Rance very much seems to be playing for the Tiger now. Could have gone for Panther Sturmpanzers by now, but he holds his hand. He conserves his resources for the bigger tank. And the tank gun destroyed. Preacher now with a much smaller force than he initially had, evicted from the west side of the map. Part again was just that one hell of a fragmentation, but also the Panzer they used to got 2 of his, Pathfinders. Panzer hasn't been doing a lot there afterwards. Flak half-track almost down, only got ace level. Jackson's pushing ahead here. Flak half-track escape. Tanks getting away. Panzer needs to build some distance as well. Panther using the smoke there laid down to flank one of the Jacksons and ambush it. Nice work. And we got air support calling on Preacher Man, causing complete chaos and confusion for any armor nearby. Still, he's going for it. He's going to try and take out that. Oh, there we go. Yak Panzer does it. P-47s though does a number on the German arm in the iron. They almost lose both the Yak Panzer and the Panther 4. And there we go, the Yak Panzer does go down. Rance though can finally call in the Tiger tank. The Schwer Panzer. If he just presses the button. The button, Rance. You must press it. Jackson moving up, Pathfinders moving towards him. Got the Orbs on Hill eventually too. Another trot on the way to a Butcher. Rance seems rather shy of calling in the Tiger tank here for some reason. Artillery fire raining down mercilessly. Anti-tank and crew smothered. Scott's thinking up here though, I'm not entirely sure what Unclearone is hoping to achieve with that, but I think his job is to try and take out the howitzer with it, which is an ambitiously beamed up grenade here. Pathfinders joining in, but while they can kill the crew, they can't really destroy it as easily. Oh, he's pushing in the Scott anyways, right in front of the Schwer Panther quarters. Close one. Got the crew, he still needs to destroy it though. We got 2 Scots opening up on it. A build rate here by Unclearone. Also not one you see very often using Scots to take out a howitzer like that. But nonetheless, Unclearone believes in it. Rance not calling in the Tiger tank. He said he actually goes for another Panzerwerfer. I would have figured he'd gone for the Tiger to be honest. But there you are. Panzer barrage off here to shadow, I think, more of Preach's forces, well, remaining forces that is. I'd like to see a Tiger though. I mean, he can technically still go on in a few moments. He still has plenty of man-pump fuel to make work with that. Great hit on the Jackson, but not enough damage. More Pathfinders out for Preacher now to replace the losses he suffered. The souls that were shattered. And to tank out here for Rance, that I think puts a bit of a stop to the Tiger tank dream here. And has entered the Ace Flak half track, scours the air around it for Allied infantry and suppresses them swiftly and mercilessly. Pathfinders moving up to backed up by the Major, the Lieutenant, the 5th Cavalry moving in as well here. Quick Ralph grenade, and there we go, nice hit. Attention into the pants for the gun. Opening up more to there, being slowly overwhelmed as well. Need to be careful about that. Great hit on the Grenadiers. Shots firing, bouncing. And that's gone. Flak half tank continuing to tear through the Allies. Falcon is on watch. Got the Jacks mobilised here for Unclearone. Grenadiers here taking out a few more troops. The situation is starting to look pretty bad for the Allies. While they had the upper hand for some time, they are now starting to regain it. Mr. Jones are proving to be quite tenacious now. Quite a lot tougher to break. Ace Flak half track dodges death by Jackson. Massive Panzer barrage here puts a lot of Preacher's men several feet below the ground and occasionally several feet up in the air at the same time. Leaving him with just a Jackson, a Lieutenant Major, and a machine gun. He's going for another Jackson, but still, Preacher's forces are very much exsanguinated compared to Unclearone. Is holding on, but not quite astoundingly well. Orbs on there take raid from the Scots, forced to retreat. Rance now got too much compilation here for a Tiger tank. Anti-tank and cold hit for Unclearone. Paratroopers snuffed out. We got Preacher there sending a few men tentatively towards the victory point here, but ultimately has to fall back since there's just too many Germans, too much firepower to put an end to whatever little he has left. Now you almost got the Jackson plan, although was forced to fall back in the face of the other Jacksons nearby. A massive vehicular position here by the Allies, the remaining elements of the 3rd Armoured. And we got Sector Assault called in to break this up, to shatter it, to tear it apart with the might of the Luftwaffe. You can see they're trying to get up, but it'll be fast enough to escape the wrath of the Reichseagle. And there you go, there's a bit of a, as you might notice, traffic jam is, they might not be fast enough, and there you go, bombing run in. Oh, yeah, there you go. Oh, it actually kills Rance's men. Took out the shed, but not maybe the anti-tank gun. You can actually call in the Tiger tank now if you wanted to, but once more he doesn't care about it. Still, they're saying awfully closer to the area, so if they get spotted again, there might be a few that sort of get caught up in it. They're right at the very edge of it, so they could still be caught if it decides to make another run. There you go. Looks like it's going to be what happens. Seems like Unclearone is really not interested in conceding the ground here. There we go, more bombs. Fragmentation bombing run called in, landing right behind, almost wiping all of Unclearone's infantry. Stunning the Scots as well. Armour moving ahead here. And there you go, Unclearone is finally forced to give up, to fall back. There you go, bombing run called in. Scott goes down, almost crashes into the ambulance. Jackson down. Looks like Preacher's just throwing it all out there, not caring about it actually surviving. And that, I think, is more or less GG at this stage, unless the Allies got some really clever maneuver in mind that completely catches the German commanders off guard, then wins the day, punching Hitler in the nose at the same time. But it's not quite looking like what's going to happen there. Maybe in their dreams. Sadly, we can't view their dreams. Machine gun team lost, and there you go. We got a surrender for the Allies. Their spirit broken. The 3rd Armour is forced to fall back in the face of a most resilient defense of the 21st Panzer Unit. I think closed it several times. It's only an aggressive strategy in some ways, but at some point it kind of lost steam. I think they were not quite fast enough to move to the late game stage to push armour on against the Germans. Additionally, they could have laid down fighting positions time to make it easier for them to hold some of the ground they took, so there were a few, I think, issues there that made it easy for the Germans to regain territory. And then, of course, at some point they were just able to snowball, and partly due to the fuel caches that Rance had laid down in advance, and that way you just gave them a sufficient fuel edge to push against the Allies. So again, sadly did not prepare for the long game. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. Tell your friends, tell your family. This is Imperial Links, cheers. Thank you for watching. You're all a wonderful audience, and if you like what I do, you can donate or pledge on Patreon. Links are in the video description. This is Imperial Links, cheers. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you all tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.